Hey y'all, it's Reno, and welcome to Alive and Sober. All week we've been touching on a few powerful steps of recovery, and today we're going to bring it all together in a real, honest conversation with my new buddy, Jon K. We're talking about the 12 steps of recovery and what it looks like to live this out day by day. And I can tell you from experience, this isn't a theory, it's the real deal. So pull up a chair, take a breath, and let's talk about how faith and recovery come together to make life not just being sober, but being truly alive. Welcome to Alive and Sober with Reno C, where real life, recovery, and faith collide. Today, I'm here with my newfound friend, Jon. Jon and I are going to get into going through the steps, but before we get into that, I know a little bit about your story, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick synopsis of what's your deal, Jon?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. I work with a church called the Northern Lighthouse. We do a lot of incarceration ministry. I'm blessed to be there today. It's a much different life I'm living today than in my past, and God has really worked through that. And so we have a unique ministry. We pick up folks out of prison. I've been a part of a lot of ministries that go inside prison, but we're able to take people on minimum security work release into our church and actually have church with them, and have recovery programming with them. And
dude, I want to go to your church.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
it's a trip.
like, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off,
yeah,
but I
you're good.
freaking love that, man.
So yeah, we have a big green bus that's from like 1997, and we pick up like 40 guys on a Sunday, bring them into church, eat together, worship together. We pick up some ladies in some vans, and it's just a great blessing to have that access, honestly. So
what a cool thing to do, and what an example of what really, and you were an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that must have been weird. I don't know anything about that. You must be weak. But in your weak, dude, the whole premise of the Bible for me is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we always talk about how Jesus, everybody he picked was jacked up.
For sure.
And everybody throughout the Bible had tons of character defects, and God still used them, right?
Absolutely.
And I know for me, people go, there's no miracles anymore. Why didn't he show up and fix the blind guy and give him the fish scales on his eye and wipe him up? You know, people say that. You want to find miracles? Go to a recovery place and see somebody that you knew had my friends are either dead or in this. Not all of them, but you know what I mean. The guys I used to really throw down with. It's undefeated. It'll take you out. You got two choices, and this is one. But you obviously picked up an awful lot to give back like that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the 12 steps today. And it kind of oddly finishes up with step 12. It's almost what you were doing.
For sure, yeah.
You know, that pay it forward. But let's dig into these things. And the reason we're doing this is it's for anybody that wants to learn about the steps, but primarily the focus is if you've dabbled in getting sober or have been sober and are in recovery, this is just kind of like a reminder of which one, you know, everybody has their favorite ones or has this, but I found that just because you do them, you're not done. It's like it keeps going on and everything will pop its ugly head up, and then you just have the tools now to deal with it. So let's dig in. Step 1 is admitting we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. For me, this one is basically just saying and admitting you're cooked. You're done. What are your thoughts on this?
The terminology I enjoy as well as that is you come to the end of yourself. So I identify so much with Solomon and Ecclesiastes. I just love his writing there where he talks about chasing the wind, looking to all these things, these external things in life to find his validation, find his worth, running after pleasure, knowledge, intelligence, wisdom, women, all the things, wealth. To find that interior spiritual life. And I identify with that so much just in my younger days, looking to all these things and covering up these masks I was wearing, where underneath of it, I struggled with worth. I struggled with a sense of being loved, of being able to love. A lot of it goes back to things in my childhood where I didn't respond well, and I internalized things, and then I'm chasing substances and pleasure and all these things to fill that void. And so what I found is God meets us in our weakness. You know, God will take those circumstances in our lives that seem so negative or tough or overwhelming, and he'll actually form and create those to encounter us there.
Yeah.
And so it's been a journey that way, but it's amazing.
It is an amazing journey, man. It's funny, when I first went into recovery meetings, I blasted through this one, admitting we were powerless over alcohol. What do you think I'm doing here?
Right.
That our lives have become unmanageable. Again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't this. But I didn't do anything about it. Like, I was like, I got 1, 2, 3, done. Turn it over to God. Take it. All right, good. 4, moral inventory. I'm good. You know, I just cooked on through them until somebody sat me down and was like, no, that's not how this works at all. It's actually a breaking down of, and this one step reminds me that, you know, people talk about rock bottom. And I heard somebody say that rock bottom is a perfect foundation to build on. While you're falling, you can't build. You can't build. You can't build. But when you got nothing,
absolutely,
and you're sitting in a room going, I got nothing, and I'm about to lose more.
For sure.
Make this stop. That kind of feels like step one is just laying there perfectly, like, I ain't got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, my version of that in a personal way was, you know, I grew up, struggled. After, when I was 3, I had an accident on my grandpa's farm. So there was a riding lawnmower, and I was running out for a ride, you know, grandpa, and I rode out. The grass was wet. He had the blade up high, and I slid underneath, severed my leg, lost half my leg, right? So I grew up with the prosthetic, grew up with a weight problem, grew up in this setting in school where I never felt I belonged, you know, began suffering with depression and just this sense of pushing people away. Lots of tough relationships with my classmates, feeling mocked, feeling ridiculed. And of course, looking back now, I can see I would have way different coping for that. But back then, internalized this struggle, began reaching out to some substances and pornography, friendships, relationships. And you know, long story short, when I was, after years of this, after years of drinking, whenever something tough would go on, pushing people away, I put on the mask of the tough guy or the cynic, the sarcastic person, pushing people away through edginess, you know, and a harder exterior, right? But underneath, I'm hurting big time, just feeling lonely, disconnected from people, don't know how to relate. And, you know, I find myself in a basement at one point, and I've blown through all my relationships. I'm drinking all the time. Every time something happens, I'm coping with that. I have no money. I've lost the place I was living. And I found myself crying out to God, like, God, I'm at the end of myself. Like, I don't have the answers. There's nothing in me that can navigate life successfully. Please take the wheel, right? It's that whole thing. Jesus, take the wheel, because I need you in my life, you know.
And I can't do it. And the thing is, you try so many times. Like, people are like, he won't even try to stop drinking. No, I'm trying. I've been trying this whole time. You have no idea internally. You know, what it looks like on the inside looking out is a lot different than the outside looking in. And that, you know, your life is so unmanageable, and you have all these different things going on where it's like somebody telling you, you're fine, or you are a piece of garbage, you know?
For sure.
And getting to that first step where you can admit out loud, you know, like, as long as you try to hold on control.
As long as I'm trying to manage it.
Yeah, I will drive this freaking thing right into a tree.
Absolutely.
Yep, I love it, man. Let's get on to step 2. Step 2 points us to a higher power. Why is believing in God's ability to restore sanity and order essential? Oof. That's a good one. I think because there's so much chaos in an alcoholic or addict's mind.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, we can't shut our brain off.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a constant, you know, I try to explain it, and it's hard, man. It's like going to outer space. Like, you try to tell people what it's like, but until you're in,
for sure,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and, you know, there was a time for me, I couldn't imagine my life without constant substance abuse. I didn't know what that looked like. I had no hobbies. I don't know what healthy coping looks like. I don't know what going camping without drinking looks like. I don't know what going bowling without drinking. I don't know what friendships, so you know what I mean? And so it's hard to even visualize and imagine. I think it erodes your imagination to a point where you can't, it's hard to see a healthy life.
Yeah.
And so then believing like, no, I can't manage this and get it straight, right? Like I can't turn the ship around, but God can. Like he can restore unto me the years that have been taken. You know what I mean? And he can give me this life that I don't even imagine right now, basically.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
I hear women in the program say like, well, their fear is like, how am I going to have a wedding and not drink?
Yes.
You know, and I always had that too, like Christmas without booze.
Me too.
Or anything without booze. I mean, I was at the point where, you know, people go, well, I drink when I celebrate. Yeah, me too, but I was celebrating like a turkey sandwich. Like I could turn anything into a freaking celebration.
Yeah.
You know, how did this look to you personally? Like when you first were going into recovery, believe in a higher power, you know, did you have a belief in a higher power, or was that something you found in there? I found Jesus. I'd gone to church my whole life, but I had this Sunday school vision of it. And I found Jesus in the Holy Spirit before I read the parts in the Bible. Like mine seems backward. People go, I read the Bible, and then I started praying, and then Mine was backwards.
Absolutely.
I was screaming out to God. I found the Holy Spirit, and now I want to read the Bible to understand it. What was it like for you? What was your experience with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in the church. So when you talk about Sunday school, like
so many of us did.
Absolutely.
It's not, I say to people all the time, I'm like, you know, everything outside world is this racism, and he looks like that, and he looks like that. You know what doesn't care about any of that? Alcoholism. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, we're all in that group together. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in that in the church environment. My parents are believers. They taught me really good values. They were in scripture. My dad's a pastor.
Oh, wow.
I grew up.
You were like
I was the pastor's kid, right? And so
you just wanted to dance.
and so I'm surrounded by those structures of Christianity, but internally, for me, again, it's that Solomon thing of I'm not convinced that true life is found in God, and I'm chasing all these things. And so for me, I had to come to that place, again, of the end of myself, cry out to God, you know, God, I need you. Like, I can't keep chasing. It's like chasing the wind, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt the Holy Spirit come in. Like, I felt just this sense of like God's love, like you are his child, like he loves you. You've never felt love like this before, like the indwelling. And when that happened to me, when I started, then I wanted, instead of just being in church and being in programs and kind of idling my way through, I really wanted to engage with God himself, you know? And so I went from like drinking every night to going home by like 9 o'clock at night, going in the basement, putting on worship music and jamming out and praying and just worshiping God, you know, and I realized that's what I had wanted so, you know, so much all along. And so once that began to take shape, things began to change for me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to step 3. In step 3, we make a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God. This was a weird one for me. Our will, give him my will. Like, you know, I grew up watching Rocky and playing football, and my will was everything.
For sure.
You know, if you're not fighting using your own personal will, you quit and you're a loser. That made this kind of weird for me. Like, turn my will and my life over to the care of God. Like, I could talk the game, but it really I wasn't applying anything. Surrender is a word that is bad.
Yeah.
The French surrender.
Yeah.
That's why they lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Surrender is you never surrender. And fighting that out in my head, what was it like for you? Did you have that same thing, like surrender?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not giving you anything.
Yeah, because you're so used to wrestling through life, trying to wrangle your way out of it and conquer and get what you need and get what you want. And then to surrender and live life open-handed, you know, it's like totally different. It just feels totally different.
It feels like you're making yourself so vulnerable.
Absolutely, because you're going through each day like, God, what do you have for me? I'm gonna try to accept these circumstances as they come. I'm gonna trust that you're guiding these trials, these difficulties. You're forming them, shaping me through it. It's just such a different than trying to wrestle your way through life. You know?
Yeah, that struggle. That's why when people a lot of people quit drinking and they're like, I'm sober.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not from where I come from.
Yeah.
You're not sober. You're white knuckling it. You're still going home yelling at your wife. You're still screaming at your kids.
Yes.
You still get in fights at work. You're not sober. That's why these steps are so important, I think, is because it's just giving you tools. It's restructuring you. Bad stuff's still going to happen.
Yep.
If you have God, you're not alone in it.
Yes.
You were alone in it. And how did you deal with that? How was it working when you were driving the car?
Well, and it's the specifics, right? Like I can speak of turning my life over, but it's going to be tested. It's going to hit specific crux point issues where you're like, I have to choose not to drink. Yeah. And my old me would have drank. And now I'm at this crossroads again, right? You know, it's like in my life in drinking, like one of the things that happened to me was my brother passed away when he was 23. I was 28, very suddenly, big medical incident. And I grieved that. It was very sudden. I grieved it with drinking. I mean, I drank for 3 months and was showing up late to work. And I worked at 11 a.m., right? And I'm just staying up all night. I was used to coping with grief with drinking. You know, I lost a friend from the military. I drank through that. Anytime something tough would happen, I'm going to that for comfort. And so in my new life, after I get married and I'm raising a family and trying to live in this like sobriety life with God, I began to face trials and live through them sober. And it was such an eye opener. It's like, man, like everything in me is used to running to that. And I literally have to make this choice to trust God, to lean into people and take healthy steps. And that's just unfamiliar at first. It's like,
it's weird.
It's like a whole new world's opening up, you know?
It's weird. I had a death in my family of my cousin who was like my brother. And I won't get into the whole story, but the bottom line was I almost fell off. I didn't because of some beautiful advice from a friend. And when I got to the funeral, people were coming to me. At my stepdad's funeral, people were like, you know, I just don't know how, and I'm helping them.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I would have been either thinking, when am I going to get a drink? I can't believe he died. Woe is me. This keeps happening to me. Why does everyone die on me? Is it me? Am I doing blah, 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 blah.
All
right?
That. Yeah.
Instead of that, I was in the moment. I don't want to say I enjoyed my stepfather's funeral because he was gone, but I had a feeling of the minute I found out he died, I had this overwhelming feeling that he was like, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm good. Help your mom. Love your mom. So I showed up and I told my son when we drove there, we're going to go there. Our specific thing to do is help grandma. He walked her in and out. He took her everywhere she needed to go. Our whole thing was based on serving other people, and it made it mean something to me. And it respected his honor as a man that I didn't show up and get tanked and blow the whole thing up.
For sure. It's like life on life's terms, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So after sobriety, one of my sons is adopted. We adopted him from Bulgaria, and he had an accident actually and lost his eyesight completely and went blind. And I hadn't been sober that long, and now I'm married and raising a family. And I remember going through that and experiencing it, going to the doctor, being told he would never see again. You go home, and that was my point of like, this in the past became all about me. It became all about my self-pity, my substance abuse. Yeah. Now I need to be in there for my marriage. It's time to step up and actually face this. And so I called my friend Bob Holtrip. He's a pastor in Omaha, and we just did coffee. And I was like, Bob, I feel like drinking like every day right now. Like I just want to. But I'm sitting here talking to you. And he prayed for me. We talked it out, and it was such a victory. It's like, okay, you can face life in God's strength and with the right people. You really can. It can be different than it used to be.
And people, it's not always God. Like I used to have this, like God zaps you, and it's not that. God puts people in your life
for sure
who can do it. And if you're paying attention and you're listening and your eyes are open and your head's on a swivel, you'll find people like you did, who kind of just give you that little, just a little pop. You know what I mean?
And it's not even this big dramatic thing. A lot of times, it's just them being willing to journey with you.
Sometimes you don't even know it was a gift until 2 years later.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my, that was kind of a miracle. Like
that was like timely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Perfect timing. Let's move on to step 4. Step 4 calls us to make a searching and fearless moral inventory. Okay, this one was real weird. Why is honesty about ourselves so honesty? So So necessary. Why is honesty so necessary?
I mean, I think that when we have been in addiction, like our self-awareness tends to be very low.
Yeah.
It just is. We're numbing off those discernment abilities by running to the substance. And so when I peeled back my addiction, I discovered a lot of things I didn't want to see. You know, I discovered a lot of harsh treatment of other people, a lot of selfishness, real self-focus, like kind of what you were talking about, where you're going through things and just turning inward. A lot of broken relationships, you know, a lot of running my mouth when I was drinking, people who wouldn't talk to me anymore, people who viewed me as a hypocrite in the church. You know, I remember I for a while I was doing youth ministry and worked at a gas station, and I was running alcohol out the back, you know, stealing it. And I got called out by a coworker. He was like, dude, you're in the church and you're doing this stuff, you know, and I had to face some of those things, which you kind of conveniently forget about.
Sure, yeah, heck yeah.
then I would run into people and be like, oh, like that happened, like that. And so God started really convicting me of like, you got to take a look. And it's hard to look, and it's hard to look.
Yeah, it's like scooping out a pumpkin. Like you're getting all the gunk and you're just like throwing it on the table, you know, so eventually everyone can look at it. You know, but just getting it out. There's something about that is so freeing. It doesn't feel like it when you're doing it because you're fighting it in your head.
For sure.
You know, like I remember going like, well, I mean, they did this too, you know. I had I'd be about to write somebody down and I'd think, yeah, but that guy got me on the and then all of a sudden I'm like, I ain't apologizing for anything. It's like it's more about getting to a point where eventually you can take responsibility for your part. And once you get it out, you know, they say to another human being and God, the human being part I think is good. God is the main thing. You're accepting. You're pulling this stuff out so eventually you can accept it, right? Yeah. And then work further through the steps. But scooping it out can be a gross, nasty
Yeah, I mean, I started my step 4, sat in a car, started writing out my notes for step 4 about my resentments and my wrongdoings toward other people. And I started with like 4 things, and eventually I had like 3 pages just full. And I could have kept going, you know, and I was like, oh man, like there's really some things there to look at.
And I looked at him. I looked at him and I was like, I don't even know myself.
Yeah.
Like, I did that, but I never broke it down. And a lot of the stuff I thought was funny at the time.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And I thought other people thought it was funny.
And they were, meanwhile, like, ooh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm the only one laughing, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
We often talk about that ripple effect. You know, whatever you do, it's going to continue to
for sure
go out and affect other people. And unfortunately, when you choose to do something that isn't very good with your memory, you find out other things you did that you didn't even know. And then half that time I'm going like, you're making this like, you can't pile on me just because I can't remember anything.
Right.
This isn't fair, you know, but then you got to get back in back in line. What did you learn the most out of step 4? What did you get out of it from scooping all that out?
Just how harsh I can be. Yeah. I mean, I had some folks talk to me once I started getting more sober and healthy, and just realizing some of the baggage in my relationships and my communication and not being kind and not tracking with other people's emotions sometimes, just that self-focus. It was really humbling because it's like in my head, I'm like really good with people. And then I'm in the reality though is telling me something very different. And it's like, it's humbling. It's, you know, hey, I've got these defects, and the sooner you can just come to acceptance of that, like, you know, I'm in an atmosphere in corrections ministry where people's baggage is thrown out into the public, and that's a curse, but it's also a blessing because I'm in this environment where we're kind of saying, hey, we all have our baggage. We all have our defects. I mean, if you've got those, welcome to the party. Let's throw it all on the table, and it's so much healthier than hiding it in the dark, you know.
And sort through it.
Absolutely. Let's just be real for each other and drop the pretense.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a religious climate where a lot of times those defects are not ever talked about.
No.
They're not. Like the family member who's the black sheep, which I was, I felt like it, I don't know. But that's swept under. It's conveniently not discussed. And it's like, for me, being in an environment where those things are thrown on the table is so healthy. It is. It's just reassuring all the time.
It's weird. It's just though that sometimes I get so much of it in my head that I do it like at the grocery store. You know what I mean?
Talking
Hey,
shop.
listen, yeah, I've got this character defect, and I don't want to tell anybody I know. Why don't you step over here in the freezer section? Let me pop off a cup.
Talk about it a little bit. We had a worship service one time where we were like, hey, is anyone struggling with sin tonight? You know, it's a Saturday night worship service. Those get a little different. You know, we had a guy come in right as we were doing that, and he's like, last night, I'm pretty sure I fornicated with a demon-possessed woman. And the service is like, we stop. I'm like, okay, brother, we're going to pray for you. And in this crowd, and like nobody's that freaked. They're like, oh yeah, that probably did happen. Let's pray for you.
They're not used to that recovery honesty of like, no, seriously, I lied to you right to your face. Yeah. I'll see you later.
For sure.
It's so weird.
We lay hands on him and pray for him, and he's like, oh, that's what I needed, and he left. You know, but just that openness is amazing. Yeah.
That brutal honesty. And that's what you have to do with yourself in step 4. You have to, that stuff that you don't want to bring out, that's what you want to bring out.
For sure.
Right. All right, moving on. Step 5. Step 5 is confessing our wrongs to God, ourselves, and another person. Why is it so powerful to say things out loud instead of just keeping it between us and God? What do you think that is?
I think when we let go of secrets, there's just this like weight that is almost instant to me anyway. You know, for me, it's like I had all these secrets from my family, secrets from my friends. And so when I began to take stock, do the actual inventory, I discovered all these lies, for instance, to my folks. You know, I was living in a really unhealthy relationship. I was living kind of a double life while in the church. And so I remember one time my dad just seeing my struggle. We took a car ride out to Branched Oak Lake together late at night, and I just told him everything. Just like, hey, Dad, these are all the things that I haven't been honest with you. By the end, I'm just like crying, like, and my dad just stops. He doesn't say a whole lot. He just was a sounding board for me, which is exactly what I needed. He didn't throw a lot of advice. He just let me get it all out there. And in retrospect, that was really my step 5, was with my dad. And by the end, he was crying, I was crying, and we're hugging. But the next morning, I felt like a different person. I mean, honestly, like I just feeling like so alone in those areas. And there's so much shame when you carry secrets. It's just like you feel that sense of weight. It was amazing. Like
it takes up so much room in your mind and your soul. You can't concentrate on anything else.
For sure.
You can't, even if you're concentrating on it, it's still just a weight laying there. Like, you know, you do something good and you're like, yeah, but don't forget, you still are such a tool bag. Like you're never gonna, you know what I mean? And then,
well, and for my dad, he was able to say, hey, like I identify with you as your dad. Like some of this is like our wiring. Like we share these struggles, and like that was a really powerful thing for him.
Dude, that's even better.
Because then it's like, now we're father and son. We're in this together. We're not both like in our own trench.
Right.
Like fighting this battle with our demons by ourselves, right? Like we're
stronger in numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what recovery groups are too. Like there's something about just knowing that they get it. Even if it's on a different level, they still get it. Mm-hmm. You can say these things and people don't jump down your throat or judge you, probably because they've done it. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, your stories aren't squat. I had a guy in a recovery thing one time, this big old biker guy, sitting there and he's sharing his stuff and he's like, and then, you got it one day at a time and don't forget, and he's about done and he turns around and goes, I wanted to tell you this too. If you killed somebody, don't bring it up in these rooms. Because you think honesty is the way to do it, but I got a buddy who just got 25 years. That's all I got. And I'm like, wow. What did he just say? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Put that out there.
So, but like that guy, my little things are not going to make him go, oh my goodness. Right. I mean, I couldn't phase this guy with anything. And you find that. And the other thing is, when somebody's been through the same pains as you, you're a lot more empathetic to them.
For sure.
Right?
And it normalizes it. Yeah. I mean, these things need to be normalized. Like we all face days where we don't feel like getting out of bed. Like we all struggle with our relationships. There's conflicts we don't want to deal with. Those things need to be normalized, I think, to where the more we just throw it on the table and then we support each other, it's like like you said, there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, there's no pretense here. Like we're in this thing. So
love it. All right. Step 6. being entirely ready to have God remove our defects of character. So step 6, entirely ready, was a key thing for me. Like, I could say, I'm ready, but am I entirely ready to have God take it? I have a problem with praying for things. When I'm praying, and there's something bad that I still want to keep doing, so I just kind of, you know what I mean? Dear God, and that pops in, but not that. But, you know, there's other stuff. It'd be real cool if I got that TV show, you know, I just was saying. It's kind of, and then it's just sitting there like, don't, you know, you kind of, being entirely ready was hard.
And change is hard.
Change is real hard.
And habits take time to change. And then we fail. We're like, hey, can this really change? You know, I did this for 2 weeks, but now I've fallen back.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got to get back on the horse and keep at it, you know, and so you're learning to work through that shame then of like, okay, I this isn't perfect. It's messy.
Right.
Change takes time, you know.
And being patient with myself was hard too. Like it was like, you know, I have this competitive, like, well, I should be done with this. You know, okay, that's good. That's enough. That's good. That's not, you know, it doesn't.
For sure.
It's tough, man.
Well, and addiction replacement's real too, right? So those
100%.
Those defects start coming through in other ways, right? It's like now I've quit drinking, but I've gained 70 pounds, you know, which I did, you know.
You did?
Yeah,
See, I went the opposite. I was addicted to the gym.
Yeah, there you go. So that's probably a better one to
I don't know.
But
not if you've treated your body like an amusement park for 30 years and then you take it in and all of a sudden you're on an elliptical for an hour and people are calling the ambulance and they're getting the things off the wall. Not really. But that's what was going on in my head. I was like, I'm going to stroke out on this thing. But I just had all this pinned up like, you know, and then it became obsessive. And then thank God, you know, I started golfing more. The weather got better, and now I'm
that was the next one I was going to bring up, right? Like, so I dropped the weight, and now I'm in the golf store, like changing out my clubs and golfing, you know, 3 times a week, and spending hundreds of dollars a week. And my wife's trying to talk to me. Addictive personality.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So
but how much did you spend on booze? That's what I think to myself. I think that, like, when I go out to eat, I used to be like, I'm going to end up blowing most of my money on booze,
right?
So I'll just get a chicken sandwich. Now I'm like, nah, bring me the biggest freaking steak you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know how I forgot how enjoyable this was.
Everything starts coming back to, you know, to life, you know, when you're sober. Yeah,
it does, right? Sure. Birds and it's like watching squirrels and you're like, oh, they're cool. And it's like, God, what are you, 5? And then it's like, oh no, I've just been thinking about the wrong stuff. I didn't care.
For sure.
You know, especially birds. Because that means you've been up all night and they're and everyone's going to work and the guilt sets in, you know, and now it's like, oh, I slept 8 hours last night and what a beautiful bird.
Birdie time was a bad time before.
Yeah, you know, bird time was bad. Now I'm looking at it like, well, that is prettier than Solomon's coat.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? All right, step 7. Step 7 is humility. Asking God to do what we cannot. How has humility affected your sobriety?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's like humility has always been a struggle. It's like being teachable, like when people bring me things about myself I don't like, when people are being honest, and now I'm trying to learn to see it as an honor. Like if someone is willing to get in relationship with me and be that honest, in love, right? But if they're that honest to bring up a tough conversation, to learn from it, you know, to be teachable. But that's hard. Like I struggle with defensive,ness, right? Like if you're bringing unpleasant things to me, I just want to push it away, right? And so just being humble in terms of, you know, back to the finding the end of yourself or the rock bottom, when you go back to that place and realize like I didn't have any of my own answers. I didn't have the ability to manage my life. My own devices were not working. Then I need to stay rooted in that humility of it's all about like God teaching me and other people teaching me what I couldn't learn for myself, you know, and that roots me better. But it's an ongoing thing just to, even when you're talking about in groups, like I sit in a group sometimes on Thursday night where they shut off the lights and people just talk. And at first it just sounds like a mess. Like people are just throwing out their emotions and their stuff for the week. And it feels chaotic and a little uncomfortable. But as I often will just sit and listen, and it's like, if I'm teachable and I'm listening for the authentic nugget that's in this share right now, like God will speak to me. It's like, no, you can relate to that piece. Like listen to this part. Like,
so you guys still do things that people did when they were on drugs. Just shut all the lights off. And
shut off the lights and talk.
I want everybody to feel at home.
Like it. That's why we go to the candlelight meeting.
That's right. Bring out the lava lamps. I want you guys to feel at home. All right.
And in the winter, things get real interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
You like meth? Put on Metallica. Let's get this thing going. Yeah. All right. Step 8. Making a list of people we've harmed. That was kind of jacked up for me too. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of truth that I had to face, and embarrassment, and I still had that. I'm such a D student. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do this the right way. I need to do it again. I got the big players, but there was so many people that since I finished this that have popped back into my memory that I'm like,
yeah,
they should have been on that list. Did you find that? This is one a lot of people do again.
For sure. Well, and sitting with that list instead of rushing into step 9, you know, instead of running into those conversations of making amends, right, of taking the time to more thoroughly think that through is so huge, because again, it's the self-awareness. It's like these things tucked in the background. You know, for me, a lot of it was with family, you know, things that I hadn't really wanted to face. And there's so much shame there. You know, like when you feel like you've done hurtful things, for instance, to your mother, like that's such a like kind of like fundamental human thing to right. And it's like, I need to confront that. Like, I've been maybe harsh toward her at times and not been honest with her. And I've been self-focused and not really seen what she was going through. Those are tough things to face. Yeah. And so it takes time. Like I felt like that piece of the 12 steps took a lot of time for me to really work through.
It's important to take these slow, because the other thing is you can make a list and you think of one thing that you think was the worst, you know, whatever it is you feel like you need to make amends for. But if you give yourself some time, that will formulate into probably a bigger story than going in with one thing. And I found this too. If you go in to make an amends, and this is just writing the list, but it's you want to be prepared. And you want the other person to know that this really means something to you. If you write down a list, and because a lot of guys I work with, they'll write a list down and they'll go, I stole a 12-pack out of that guy's refrigerator. I'm like, all right, why? Well, I wanted beer and I should tell him I'm sorry. Well, what do you mean? Well, he took this from me, and then, okay, now the story's starting to come out. He took that, and then I told him that his wife needs to stay out of my yard, you know, whatever, and then it gets into this whole thing, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, it wasn't just that you stole the beer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it takes a minute. It takes patience to kind of let it come out and become where you're so comfortable with it, you feel like you covered your bases, so you don't go in there. The worst thing is if somebody comes to apologize to anybody, and they go, "Hey, sorry about that thing," you know,
and it's not,
and it's like, you didn't mean that. You're doing this because you're in some program, and they're making you, you know, like the Seinfeld. Step 9, you have to apologize to me. Yeah, I'm not apologizing. Your bulbous head came through. You know what I mean? The
for
Seinfeld.
Sure. Nobody wants to be the box you're checking.
Right.
They want it to come from a real place, you know, and that takes soul searching. You got to really take stock, I think.
And they may not be used to you acting that way.
For sure. That's the uncomfortable part.
That's the uncomfortable part, is they're like, I've heard you apologize for a million things every day.
Well, and some relationships,
why is this different?
Sincerity is just uncomfortable. You know, and a lot of my relationships were formed around that sarcasm, that cutting edge of just that kind of culture. And so to be earnest is like, it can be really unnerving sometimes for some relationships, you know. There's so much good that comes from those conversations, though. That's what I found, is because it clears up so much. There's so much truth that comes out. It's like some people, you find that they haven't really been holding on to what you thought.
You're not quite as important in their life as you thought you were.
Like, you made it into something way more than what it was. Other people, you find they really have been really hurt, and then the relationship's going to change from that. Like that's going to alter the way it goes forward. Yeah. And so both ways is good, because it's like, if you find out they weren't really holding on to it that much, there's such a relief to that. It's like, oh, you know, like that feels so much more freeing.
It does. It
not have that baggage over
because you've been worried subconsciously about what you did to them.
For sure.
And it kind of frees the. Love it. Step 9. is making the actual amends. So I even say, when you go say sorry, but it's not just saying you're sorry. What is it to you that makes it a true amend?
So to me, a true amends, you're able to see from their frame of reference as much as you can. I mean, we can't completely step into another person's frame of reference, right? But we can go there somewhat.
Yeah.
To really feel maybe what they would have felt, and how much damage maybe our behaviors actually did. Another thing I feel like with step 9 is it's like, once you go there and you have that conversation, they're going to see it by the way you change. So it's like, if I have a pattern of dishonesty or insensitivity or self-focus around this person, then the changes are going to be what speaks the most volume. They're going to see the way you carry yourself, the way you're actually interacting.
It's not just that your face isn't as puffy and your eyes aren't as red, right? It's like
your
it's
character's
a demeanor,
changing,
and that's where the attraction rather than promotion. That's part of. I mean, I'm using it in a different way, but it's the same thing. It's like an attraction to, okay, this guy is doing this. He's serious, and that's why the effort you put into it. And the kindness and love that you put into it, the better chance you're going to have. Now, there are sometimes you go to people and they go, no.
Yeah, they're not ready.
I don't forgive you. So what do you find works best in that situation? Like somebody goes, no, what you did was so freaking bad. I got nothing for you. I'm not going to ease your pain because you all of a sudden are acting like somebody else.
So I've never had someone say that to my face, but
Okay, then me neither. I really need an answer here, buddy. Come on.
What did happen for me, though, is like I tried to initiate conversations with a couple of people that would not talk to me, and they still haven't to this day.
Yeah.
Like there's a radio silence there, and that's tough. I mean, that was a tough piece of my journey because those are the people I wanted to talk to the most. And I even pursued a couple of them, really tried, and I was told, like, I don't want to speak with you, based on conversations we had and the toxic behavior. And that one is just, turning it over to God and just trusting that, like, where they're at in their journey, they're not ready. And maybe they will be one day, but, like, just praying that they're getting whole and healthy and that the damage maybe, because those are the ones where there really was some emotional baggage or damage, right? Yep. And it's like that can really haunt you. And so it's like, again, the humility of realizing these are real things, and I could have faced a lot worse consequences than one person's holding on to some hurt maybe. I met a gal through our incarceration work. She took had 2 bottles of wine, got on the road, and vehicular manslaughter, like she killed 2 people, and she did 20 years in prison. And I remember meeting her as she came through our church. She told her story about all these years in prison and just that decision. And I remember thinking that could have been me easily.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I drank and drive so many nights. There's no reason why she did 20 years of prison and I didn't. Like the line between incarceration and the free world is way thinner than what we like to imagine. Yeah. It's just the difference is that didn't happen, but
dude, that's
same
so
behavior. Right. And so I'm like, if I have to work through the feelings of a few people, I didn't do 20 years in prison, right? Like I'm walking free with a house and a family in an amazing place now, but just keeping that perspective, right?
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Because it could have been so much worse.
And that step is in a good spot because you've already been through things that will prepare you.
Yes.
When you finally sit down with them. And I would recommend, just one guy's free advice is free advice, so take it for what you want, but I would wait. It worked out better for me in my case to wait. Because I'd apologize so many times and they meant nothing. And I needed to show, I waited for my friends that live here a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I had to show
the change.
And it happens almost naturally because people start to go, oh, he's not kidding this time. But they've already said, oh, this time might be different so many times that they get sick of it.
Yeah.
It's annoying to them to have somebody go. So in their defense, a lot of people are like, dude, I'm not taking this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the relief. You wrecked my daughter's wedding or whatever you did. You know what I mean? But you do find that if you've done it, you try to make your amends, they say no. you've done everything you can do, right? I mean, you pretty much, what else are you going to do?
And they're doing you the favor of being honest.
Yep.
They are, because if they're genuinely not ready, you're so much better off waiting till it's a genuine exchange.
Yep.
When they are ready, and so they're maybe guarding their heart.
Well, sure they should, because of what we've done to them.
To be honest enough to be, hey, I'm not ready for that conversation. And then you hope that one day they will be,
Well, and again, showing these steps playing themselves out in real time allows people to go, oh, this isn't like the other times. But it does take a minute with some people.
For sure.
But we can make amends. That's why I wanted to talk about these. You can do this no matter where you are in your steps. You could have done them all 50 times, but we all know this is one that keeps popping up. It's not just to do it when you mess somebody up when you were drunk.
Yeah.
It's also to apply to real life.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To handle your business. And you don't have to wait 2 years anymore to go apologize to somebody because they know you're coming from a sincere heart. And I think that's automatically shown through a true relationship with Jesus. Like it just happens anyway.
Because you have a soft heart now.
You have a soft heart and you're humbled. You're humbled.
Yes, yeah, you've been broken down to a place to have a soft heart.
Once you realize you're not that smart, it sure makes life a lot easier. You know what I mean? Sure. I'm tired of trying to prove to everybody I'm smart. I'm dumb. I've always been dumb.
I don't have the answers.
I don't have the answers. That's why we're telling you to go talk to God.
For sure.
All right. Step 11. Step 11 is seeking through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. I try to do this throughout the day, right? Like I have this thing where it's not God, are you still there? But it's like, okay, I need to. And the more I read the Bible, the more often I'm doing it. Like sometimes I think I'm nuts. Like I'm like, dude, you might be going a little, because I'll be in, God, this, that, like a weird kind of ongoing conversation, right? Do you do it like that? Do you pray throughout the day? Are you I pray at 9, noon, and 5? Are you?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I have I attempt, I'm not perfect at it by any means, but I try to spend an hour in the morning just in reading scripture, prayer. I listen to this really drony meditation music because I may have ADHD and it just like calms everything.
Love it.
It's like on Spotify.
Love it. Yeah, the green
meditation.
noise.
Exactly.
The only thing that sucks about those things is like I'd listen to them for free on YouTube, and I'll be, the Abide.
And you get a commercial.
And you get the commercial, and it's like, you're laying and Jesus has come down to talk to you.
Exactly.
You want to start your own podcast? And it's like, gosh, dude, I was almost asleep. Call 1-800. No, get back to the thing. I can't meditate. I can't.
See, that helps me.
Dude,
sure.
I cannot. I can't sit still.
Yeah.
Even the dumb one, like when they're like, you're sitting beside a creek and a deer comes down and takes a drink of water. I'm like, I would have scared him off. He would have seen me. There's no way. Shoot it. Like I don't have any. Like I can't concentrate. So you have ADD?
Yeah, I may. It's not diagnosed.
Me too. If you don't go to the doctor, you don't have it. But I got it
for sure.
My wife tells me every day.
But yeah, I try to start off the day just really listening and trying to ask the Holy Spirit, like, hey, and I read some devotionals. Spend that quiet time at the beginning. My wife does the same thing in the other room, and so helping with that focus is amazing for the day. Just that stillness, I struggle throughout the day. Like, I feel like that's an area I need to grow in again. I've had points where I did better with it.
Yeah.
Ironically, when I was driving pizzas for Papa John's, I had all this time alone in the car. And, it was amazing.
Perfect way to listen to this podcast, as a matter of fact.
There you
if you're
go.
Delivering pizzas, we have a wonderful... And don't drink and drive.
You do have all this time, right?
Yeah.
It's just like sunset and you're driving pizzas, put on some music and just pray. And but absolutely. I mean, the more of that conscious contact, just turn
Serenity, right?
Absolutely. Finding that peace and that stillness with God.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge because anxiety, I mean, that chases the anxiety really fast.
Well, they say like depression's based off the past, anxiety's based off the future. So live in the moment and try to keep, my problem is the listening. Like I already know what I want to say to God.
Yeah.
Like, do this and it'd be so cool. And then
For sure.
And then I'm done. And I'm like, hold up, man. It's like these steps, like slow down.
Yeah.
You can't fly through things that are real. You have to, I have to stop. Like the Lord's Prayer, I'd say it all the time. You know, our Father, I don't know what I was, hallowed, what? You know, like I didn't understand. And then I'd listen to someone break it down like we're doing, and it helps so much. But I wonder how other people's contact with God throughout the day is. You only know your own. And this isn't something people sit around, you don't walk up to somebody and go, what's your constant contact with your conscience and Jesus? You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I like knowing how other alcoholics and addicts have their relationship throughout the day.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, and just taking those moments where you're, you know, consciously realizing what's going on internally throughout the day. Like so often, I mean, for me in my sobriety, I have a lot of triggers still.
Yeah.
Like I have triggers that pull the old me back in real quick. That, I mean, honestly,
Old you as far as wanting to drink, or old you as far as like
wanting to behave a certain way, wanting to respond a certain way, wanting to be harsh, or and so the more consciously I'm taking those and turning them over, you know, quick prayers. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be eloquent, sound like King James. It's just like, Lord, help me to do this the new way. You know, that kind of thing. That's really huge, I think.
I think about like how we talk to God, right? Like in a, you know, when I was a kid, that was something that turned me off. Thou art might not come to thou. And it's like, I'm not listening to old English. What are we in a play? Like, I don't want to listen to this. It's hard to understand, right?
Yeah.
Meditation on God's word, taking something. I have this weird thing where I'll be going through something and I just open the Bible. And for some reason, I'm on the right page. Like it feels like all the time, you know?
Yeah, lately I've been feeling like I'll be thinking about something late at night or in the morning, and then I open the Word, and it's like so crazy how it'll be like, I mean, and it almost just sounds cheesy when you say it, but it'll be like spot on to what I was thinking about.
Right.
I'll be like processing something, my wheels are turning, and then I'll open it and I'll be like, wow. Like that's...
Yeah, and you don't want to tell anybody because you have this feeling of they're going to think I'm nuts.
Absolutely.
Like I always have that. The good thing is I was, like so many of us, I was so jacked up when I was drinking that people will put up with more now just because it's not what it used to be.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Improving our conscious contact. I think if you do spend the time, you kind of keep the conscious contact, right?
And it says improving too, right? Like I've noticed my habits will stagnate every couple of years usually.
Yeah.
So like I have tools, you know, like Bible study tools, devotionals, literature. I'm reading recovery literature.
Yeah.
And I'll be in this really sweet spot of growth. And then I'll kind of notice like, hey, it's time to shift something this year, you know, and my wife and I have learned every new year, start talking about, hey, where are we at, you know, with what's working. And so keep consciously improving those, you know, prayer life too. Like I've been thinking a lot about, I've been trying to read scripture and then pray based off of scripture as well. So my prayers aren't just coming from the top of my head, but I'm responding to God's word. Like what is it saying? Yeah. And so then I'll I used to hate writing in my Bibles, and now it's just like my Bibles look horrible. Like they're all, but you're just in the margins, just all these prayers based on what the word is saying to me. And
then you can go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you already have it there.
Yeah.
So you like the meditation part.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the peaceful, that's what I got to work on, man. As I can't get to the...
Yeah, I had a couple of years ago, I had an infection in my leg and ended up in the hospital for like a week. The doctor was like, you have an abscess this big. And they had to like drain it out. And I had a wound, like a hole this big in my leg. And so I was off of my leg. I have a prosthetic leg, of course. And I was off of it for like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just ended up just going crazy restless, and I started picking up my electric guitar and just playing this ambient music. I got this like crazy like sleep pedal.
Yeah.
It's just this drony quiet, but I would just do that for hours and just try to calm, and it was amazing.
Settle it down.
I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah. All right, step 12. If you've completed step 12, your whole life is fixed and you're good to go. You're done. Congratulations. We're going to have a graduation for you.
For sure.
Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening, we try to carry this message to others and practice these principles in all of our affairs. I look at it as the pay it forward step. You know, sometimes I'll sit around and think about things so much, and then my brain or God or my soul is like, stop talking about it and go do something. You've been babbling about this, apply it, go do it. I get tired of the just learning and not taking it out. You were doing that through a prison ministry. So tell me what step 12, and if you can, dude, I don't mean to put you on the spot,
for sure.
but in particular, what step 12 had to do with you taking what you had learned and found into a prison ministry?
For me, like dealing with all the shame and like toxic stuff and addiction and wanting to isolate, now that I'm a part of prison ministry, where it's like we're bringing people out of the isolation of prison, out of the shame of prison. You feel a label, you're a felon, you're unwanted, you're the black sheep. And now we're saying you can come to church and you're part of this family. You are accepted. Like the gospel is for you. Jesus died for you. You are loved. You are like God's chosen. Like step into this identity with us. Like we're here, like saying this to you today. Like doing that helps me continually stay rooted in that for myself. It's like, I want to stay in that place of like, man, I was in this dark place and Jesus found me there. And that is like the only thing I actually really need the rest of my life. Like he is enough. Like he's got me. He's going to take me where I need to go and I can trust him. For me, like not feeling like I belonged, struggling with those feelings I had when I was young helps me, I think, to appreciate what some folks in incarceration go through, because so many are cut off from family. They don't have a lot of support. They feel like they have failed over and over again, maybe one time too many, and so just reinforcing that truth against the shame of like, no, it's not over for you. You can get started today. Like sobriety can come today. Like let's seize this opportunity. That to me is really powerful.
And create another legacy of your life.
For sure.
I've never been to prison. I went to jail a couple of times, but I haven't served time in prison, right? But I would imagine that would be a bottom. That would be, I have nowhere to go.
For a lot of people, for sure.
Yeah. And you could either stay in it, or what if your legacy, and this is the great thing about God, 1 or 2 or 10 bad decisions don't have to make your life.
Yes.
And it's what you do with it, right? What did you do with the mess that you created? And the prison ministry means so much. Like I have never done it, but I have buddies that go and do meetings and stuff, and they're like, man, it's kind of like you were saying. I was one getting caught away from being right there.
For sure.
I mean, there are so many things that happened in my life that I go, did God keep me out of that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, real close to going to, in the parking lot, watching something happen, and I wasn't there. Like, stuff like that, where it's like, I look back and go, did God kind of,
For sure.
Like, was he saving me? Did he let me get just jacked up enough that I could do a podcast about it? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but it's, the step 12 is kind of, it is a tip of your hat, because you have gotten to the end of this particular time of running through your steps and your, I think. Are you an advocate of doing the steps more than once?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too, 100%. Like I hear people say occasionally, like, well, I already did all 12 steps. I'm done.
Keep working.
You didn't do them right then, because you wouldn't feel like that. You'd want to go back and dig. But I like the way that this kind of puts a bow on what recovery is all about. And it's, you've had your spiritual awakening, which can come in many different forms, but you've had it, you've gotten through the steps, your body's back on ground.
For sure.
Is what it felt like to me.
It helps keep you focused.
It does.
I mean, because if I can help provide an atmosphere where other people can come into sobriety, come into self-worth, know that God loves them, I mean, that keeps me, because I feel like the heavier the truck, the straighter it drives. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can lose focus really quick. So
me too.
I need to wake up with like a compelling reason to be alive, and that's a compelling reason.
And it has to have meaning.
Yeah.
And if it has meaning, like the older I get, the more I'm like, if you have a purpose, that's all you need.
For sure.
It fills that, you're doing something good. And I found that, and this is crazy, and people that know me are going to hear me say this and go, that is not true, but I promise it is. When people leave my shows now, they'll be like, great show, whatever. And someone will walk up and go, I've been sober for 2 years. I love what you're doing on the radio. That made me want to do this podcast. It meant more to me than, it took me a long time and a lot of breaking down how weak and childish all my defects are, to realize that it means a lot more to mean a lot to a few people than a little bit to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
You can have surface stuff all day long, but as you get to be my age, that doesn't do anything at all. And the people that I see that are still living like that are so miserable at home, and it looks so cool from the outside. Did you see that guy's new Corvette, man? You see his house, dude? That guy's got it together. And then you go have dinner with him. It's like, those people are going to kill each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you think that one thing, when you chase one thing, that's the most important thing. And then you get it and it sucks. And you're like, I was chasing the wrong thing. And then why did it take me 50 years to figure this out?
For sure.
You know? I do love the way that the steps are wrapped up with a now get out there and show them.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
And the more you're challenged and the more you're, it's going to grow you and it's going to be healing. I found it really healing, It's like I started going back into prisons in South Dakota and Iowa, like doing in-prison retreats where you like eat the food and you just hang out in the gym and get
Dude, I want to go with you. Can I go?
It's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to take you. It's called Brothers in Blue.
I'm in.
It's amazing. But yeah, it's like they had me share my testimony at one point and I didn't prepare at all. And I was just all of a sudden in this like whole room full of folks in this gym, right? And I'm just telling my story. And it's like, as I started telling my story, I could feel the genuineness in the room. It's like, these guys get it. And so I started telling my story and I just ended up just falling apart, just giving the whole shebang, right?
Yeah.
And I was super embarrassed at first, but then I realized like afterward, all these guys came up and it just connected me with all these people. And I was like, this prison, which is supposed to be this dangerous space, it is actually one of my safe spaces. Like these people, which is supposed to be one of the most dangerous, these people are safe to be real with.
They get it.
Because they get it.
They get it.
So something in them, when you talk about struggling with belonging, when you talk about your defects and your addictive problem, they understand me. It's like, how weird is that? It's like, this is one of the most healing things.
And they're probably thinking the opposite of what we're thinking. Why did God let me get caught?
Yeah.
And, but when you show the truth, we live in a time where everybody just lies. I'm this and I'm that. They have clothes on that say I'm this, which means they're not that. Like if you have to tell somebody you're something, you're not that. Right?
Yeah.
But we live in a time where it's lie and cover up and don't say this because of this and don't say that. You can get so far in this world right now by being honest because it's so odd
and it's
to
awesome.
People. It is awesome and it makes you feel so much better. So they know if you've really been through it.
Yeah.
You've really been through addiction and you have that together. And as Christians, we're supposed to, I feel, go to the people that are forgotten. Go to the people that are shoved away. If you're still alive, you have a chance at redemption, and people will come out and be like, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life. Okay, in the womb, you're pro-life. Now, this guy has done some awful things and he's paying for it. Do we quit on him? We just axe him off?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm pro-life. I'm pro-Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm pro this guy getting a chance and getting to feel what I feel.
Yeah.
I'm a jerk. Yeah. I'm a jerk if I found this and I don't share it with people because I'm too embarrassed or I might not sell as many tickets at my show or somebody's going to go, oh, what a wuss and blah, 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 whatever. That says in the Bible too, you're going to be attacked. Bring it on.
Yeah, where it says like, whosoever believeth in me, that means whosoever. Like whoever wants to come.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever.
The ground is level.
Moses killed a dude.
Yeah.
We're all redeemable.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you work these steps and really work them, it'll put you in a better place. It doesn't solve all life's problems or anything, but it sure made life better for me, and it looks like it did for you too.
Yeah. Yeah, for me to be where I'm at today, able to I have 3 kids. I've been married now 17 years. I'm able to have a home and be in a ministry and actually have chances to give back and be somewhat stable, right?
Yeah.
And feel on a daily basis, feel some inner peace, feel a purpose. Like, that's amazing.
So we've wrapped up the 12 steps. I hope that this gave you a little reminder of how you went through them the first time, or just little seeds dropped. If there's anything that you've left behind as you've gone through them, like I have. Just talking about this, I already know there's a couple people I gotta need to work on. But I believe, and I believe Jon believes, that if you apply these to your life and you can get that conscious contact with God starting you off, and then just trust these steps, God will take you and you'll get where you need to be. You're not gonna be perfect. You're still going to jack stuff up, but you're not alone. God's always with you, and you've got a group of people here. I'll just say it like this. No one told you they love you today. I do. Thanks for listening to Alive and Sober with Reno C. Man, I hope this hit home for you today. Jon and I both know none of us get through this alone. But when we stay connected to other alcoholics and addicts, that's how we can fight our way. We have to stay connected to God and His purpose for us. And then when we do, we start to see just how good life can become. If you're walking this journey, thinking about taking the first step, or just know someone on this journey, we just want to remind you, you're never too far gone and you're not by yourself. God's not done with you yet. Thanks for hanging out with me this week on Alive and Sober. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and so we can keep walking this path together. I'll be back Monday with another verse. And for all you recovery nerds out there that notice we missed skip 10, my answer to you is, hey man, we're in recovery. You're lucky we only missed one. No one told you they love you today. I do. Bye-bye.